Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo 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 Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 9, entitled The Most Confidential Knowledge. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of God is said, My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you the most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of all miseries of material existence. This purport is quite lengthy, but I'm not going to read the entire thing to get on to the main subject. As the devotee hears more and more about the Supreme Lord, he becomes enlightened. The hearing process is recommended in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The message of the Supreme Personality of God is full of potencies, and these potencies can be realized if topics regarding the Supreme Godhead are discussed among devotees. This cannot be achieved in the association of mental speculators or academic scholars, for it is realized knowledge. The devotee are constantly engaged in the Supreme Lord's service. The Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and gives him the intelligence to understand the signs of Krishna in the association of devotees. Discussion of Krishna is very potent, and if a fortunate person has such association and tries to assimilate the knowledge, then he will surely make advancement to a spiritual realization. Lord Krishna, in order to encourage Arjuna to higher and higher elevation in his potent service, described in the 9th chapter, matters more confidential than any other that we have discussed. So, if it's most confidential knowledge, then why it is given out? Chapter 9 entitled The Most Confidential Knowledge. So the most confidential knowledge is only meant for the devotees. Here Krishna is guiding Arjuna step by step. In all other chapters, he was guiding how to make progress in spiritual life. And in the middle of the purport, there are 9 processes of devotional service. So the first is hearing. So we hear about Krishna, we hear topics regarding Krishna, we hear the description of Krishna, we hear the description of his abode. We hear from self-realized souls, the spiritual masters, the sadhus, and the saints, they speak about Krishna. And then when we hear about Krishna, then we get inquisitive and then we want to chant the holy name. So when I first came to Krishna consciousness in 1979, I wasn't interested in hearing or chanting. I was interested in the prasad. That's what attracted me. So that was my one production guru, the prasad. So every Sunday we should go to Kejuraj just to take. And then we should hear from the spiritual master the topic discussed about Krishna. Then he taught me how to chant, about the beat, about the beatbag, and then chanting. So this hearing and chanting brings you on the stage of devotional service. So when you hear and you chant, then you want to be engaged in devotional service. So that's how it works. So if you hear and you chant and you don't do service, then you're just wasting your time, because Krishna is saying, I'm only to be known through devotional service. At home you are doing devotional service, you're cooking your food stuff, it is becoming bhog. After the bhoga has been offered, it becomes prasad. You serve it, that's devotional service. Chanting is devotional service, reading is devotional service. Book distribution is devotional service. So you hear and chant. Now after we hear and chant, then we remember. We remember the pastime of the Lord, we remember specific pastime, and then when we're chanting, we can remember pastime. Krishna is herding the cows in the pastures or in the field. Remember this pastime. So you cannot always think of Krishna. It's impossible. But just by remembering the pastime, the chanting will help you to remember. That's what the chanting is all about. To remember Krishna or God's name. So in association of devotees, we discuss topics about Krishna. Sometimes you may not have heard the particular pastime. You hear it from the devotees in association, and it creates a good atmosphere that one is speaking and one is hearing. So we should try always remember Krishna, because this Krishna consciousness movement is teaching us how to die, how we should leave our body by remembering the Lord's pastime, by remembering our devotional activities, all our devotional service that we have done, all will come back to test you at the time of death. So after we remember the pastimes of the Lord, then we engage in some servitude attitude. We serve the devotee, we serve the public. We are the servant of the servant of the servant. So you render some service onto the devotees, you engage yourself in some service, and all is not going unnoticed. These 9 processes of devotional service gradually lead you to Krishna's lotus feet. So we should hear, we should chant, we should remember, and then we should serve. We can serve any living entity that we want, in the form of the holy name, in the form of the sadhana. We are not here to do any philanthropic work where we give somebody a blanket to overcome the temporary cold. That makes no benefit to him. Rather, we give him something eternal by giving the holy name, by giving the chanting of the holy name. And then we can engage him in some service. After serving, then we can do some worship. Only the brahmanas, the twice initiated devotees, are allowed on the altar in the temple. But at home, you can set up an altar like this and do the artik according to the laid down procedures. Artik is normally done after you offer the bhog to the deities, to the Lord. Now when you offer the incense, we are welcoming the Lord into our home and into our heart. We offer the incense, we offer the water, we offer the flower, we offer the wheat lamp. Then we offer him the chandra and the whisk. So it's a simple mode of worship. Even chanting is worshipping. If you cannot do this artic service at home, then you can chant. There is no harm. And the next aspect is maintaining friendship. Bhagavad builds a society for Krishna consciousness so that others will be non-envious. You should not be envious of any other living entity. Envy means what I got, you don't have. So envy starts. So you should maintain friendship. Friendship can only be on the equal. If somebody is higher than you, you offer them respect. If somebody is lower than you, you offer them respect also. But friendship, you maintain that it's a casual relationship. If I have to speak to, say, Bhakta Ashwin, I have known him from 1992. He was a full-time devotee in Chester Temple. If I have to speak to him, I don't ask him, please accept my humble obeisance. I'll just speak to him, call his name, and we'll talk. We're maintaining friendship from those years. Okay. we have to have this relationship of friendship. Because we're non-envious, we are on the same level of devotional service, we're rendering service, we're chanting, we are engaging in book distribution. So all the things come and maintain our friendship. If a devotee is hurting, he will say, I have such and such a problem, can you help me? If you cannot help me, you tell him, okay, I'll get back to you. Find out from somebody, get some relevant answers to the question, and then next day you can either text him or call him and tell him this is the solution to your issue. That's it. So maintaining friendship is very, very important. Sometimes you may have a problem, difficulty, or calamity. Who is going to help you? Who can understand your situation besides the devotee? Because the devotee knows whatever is going on in your life is part of your karma. And when you attempt to become a devotee, all your karma is accelerated forward. Some suffering condition will come, some problem may come, some difficulty may come. The devotee understands it's part of my karma. I just have to accept it. Now we cannot be artificial like Queen Kunti to ask the Lord, please put me in greater difficulty so that I can remember you more. We cannot do that. We are not on that level. She was a self-realized soul, so she could say that, but we cannot. We have to accept the suffering condition as a blessing of Krishna. Like the Muslims, anything happens, calamities, auspiciousness, some good fortune, give thanks to Allah. Somebody dies, Allah knows best. I work with them, so that's how I know. So they never take it as a personal issue. Lord, I am suffering, why are you putting me? So we don't know our karma from the previous life and the past life. As we chanting is getting burnt. And the secret is in the big bag because as you chant, your karma is getting burnt. So that's how we can eradicate. I mean, what to speak of rendering devotional service, pure devotional service. Favorably, joyfully, not begrudgingly. King Kamsa, you are thinking about Krishna 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But not like us. Favorably, unfavorably. Oh, when is the time of my death will arrive? When? He's thinking like that. He's complicating his life by thinking unfavorably about Krishna. And Krishna eventually came, 16 years old boy. He had a wrestling match and he killed him. He comes out with some sort of liberation. So liberation doesn't mean that we go back to Krishna, Goloka, Vrindavan, Vaikuntha. What liberation means, you take birth again in the devotee family and you start off from 2% to 3%, whatever you have to your previous life, whatever devotional service you stop, so you continue. When Prabhupada was in a Radha Damodar temple, every day he is praying, hey Sanatana, hey Rupa. How am I going to spread this message of Krishna consciousness to the West? How? And then Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj came in a dream. He said, you just go there. All the young boys and girls are there. So all these American devotees who took to this process were devotees in India. They took birth in a rich family to continue this spiritual life. They were all set there. They just waiting for Prabhupada to come. Prabhupada was wandering the street. Dr. Mishra's studio, the yoga studio is going there, and Dr. Mishra's sense gratification has been threatened because Prabhupada was speaking about Krishna consciousness. And he didn't know how to get rid of Prabhupada, but Prabhupada anyhow, he knew that he did not wanted him, he went away. Even New York, Thompson Square Park, he sat under the tree, he took his cut out, he singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The purity of the mantra attracted the young boys. Then they went back, followed back to the storefront to Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada, he cooked nice 18 preparation Sunday feast and he fed them. They ate and they left. Prabhupada had to pick up the plate, put it in a trash can, wash the pots, do everything himself. Finally, after 20 years, not 20, after 10 years, they said to Prabhupada, "You have tricked us." Prabhupada said, "Yes, I know." He started all the time ago. One devotee, he told Prabhupada, "Here's my bead bag, I quit." Prabhupada never said nothing. Then he walked down the hall and he looked at the glass jar of rasagulas. He came back, he said, "Prabhupada, I changed my mind." Took it bead bag. Prabhupada asked him, "What happened?" He said, "If I leave, I'll never get one of those in my life." So these are the sadhana time. Now the next part of the ninth process is surrendering. Devotees are scared to surrender to the Lord because the Lord will take everything away from you. Now, if the robbers come here, we surrender to them, we put our hands up, please don't harm, take it. So we are at their mercy. But if the devotee goes in front of the altar and we say, "My dear Shri Radha Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Virat Govardhan, today I surrender my life totally to do as you please to me." So when you surrender to the Lord, He takes away all your opulence and makes you happy. But devotees are scared. They don't want to be in that situation. They want to be in the comfort zone. So therefore, the surrender process is difficult. Even though they're following the 4 regulated principles, they're following the Mangalati program, Tulsi Puja, chanting, the morning program, Srimad Bhagavatam class, and the surrendering. So we should make a sacrifice. To sacrifice our false ego. Ego is 3-letter word, E-G-O. So let's sacrifice the E and go. But the practice of these 9 elements of devotional service, one is elevated in spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. When one heart is thus clear of material contamination, one can understand the science of Krishna. Simply to understand that a living entity is not material is not sufficient. That may be the beginning of spiritual realization, but one should recognize the difference between the activities of the body and the spiritual activities. And one has to understand that he is not this body. So if you speak to somebody and tell them you're not this mind or this body, you're eternal spirit soul, they may not believe. The only realization they can get is when they go to the cremation ground. Family members, friends and relatives, they will say, "He's gone, she's gone." But he said, what is gone is the soul. You have to understand. If you understand the science of spiritual life, and if a loved one has passed on, there's no need to lament, because the soul has departed. It is on its onward journey, either enjoying or suffering. We call our association with that person's body, some attachment developed. We remove the physical association, but we should remain sober. Sober doesn't necessarily mean not drunk. It means free from exaggeration or speculation. So people mourn in different ways. So if something happens to our body, we are not on that level to say we are not this body. One toothache, we go to a specialist dentist, get it out, get some treatment. So the most important aspect of spiritual life, one has to tolerate, and then cooperate. Now the more you tolerate, the more humble you become. And Prabhupada gave a very nice definition of humility. He said, you afford all respect and honor to others and not getting the satisfaction of being honored. That is humility. But here, somebody comes, they don't greet you, they walk past you, you go get proof. No. He ignored me, he's gone. You don't know what's in their mind. Don't agitate them. If they gone, you pay respect within your mind, and that's it. In the 7th chapter, we have already discussed the opulent potency of Supreme Personality of Godhead, its different energies and inferior and superior energies, and all the material manifestation. Now in chapter 9, the glories of the Lord will be discussed. So here, Arjuna is receiving this knowledge. Arjuna is a very intelligent personality, but he is asking questions because of the common man. In the beginning, chapter 1, Arjuna is saying to Krishna, drive the chariot, let me see who is on the other side. When he saw his relatives, his uncles, his nephews, his cousins, he lost his composure and he lost his will to fight. Then Krishna is speaking to him, chapter 2. And then when Krishna is further speaking to him, he said, now my soul totally surrendered to you. Please instruct me what's best. Only when he made the statement, Krishna revealed Karma Yoga, Dana Yoga, all the whole 18 chapters of Bhagavad, because he surrendered. So we are trying. We have spiritual masters. We are taking shelter. We cannot do everything ourselves. So we have to need some guidance, someone to guide us, to tell us what process we should follow. So we try to follow, and then we learn something and we teach others. Now if you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and you don't give it out, you lose it. You need to speak it out to others. So we stop here. If there are any questions, we can attempt to answer. So yesterday was Advaita Acharya's appearance day. Advaita Acharya was a great Sankirtan leader. He was chanting the holy name before Mahaprabhu can descend. And then when he saw the age of Kali progressing, he was very morose. He went to the bank of the Ganges. He took a palm full of Ganges water with the tulsi leaves, and he prayed for the Lord to descend. And he offered it back into the Ganges. Meanwhile, the Lord in Vaikuntha, Krishna is watching. He decided to come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu took birth, Advaita Acharya was already 45 years old. Advaita Acharya was none other than Mahavishnu. He petitioned the Lord to come to save the conditioned soul. So his appearance day was yesterday, and then Monday is, we call him the boss, the guru, Lord Nityananda's appearance day. So if you want to make further progress in spiritual life, you pray to Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda is none other than Balaram. The mercy is flowing, you just need to go and get it. So all these festivals enable us to remember the Lord, His potencies and His pastime. Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Radha Ramanuja, Gopal Nandi.